Managing groups and teams for high performance. Managers striving to have top-performing groups and teams need to motivate group members to work towards the achievement of organizational goals and reduce social loafing. Motivating group members to achieve organizational goals. When work is difficult, tedious, or requires a high level of commitment and energy, managers cannot assume group members will always be motivated to work towards the achievement of organizational goals. Consider a group of house painters who paint the interiors and exteriors of new homes for a construction company and are paid on an hourly basis. Why should they strive to complete painting jobs quickly and efficiently if so doing will make them feel more tired and at the end of the day, they will not receive any tangible benefits? It makes more sense for the painters to adopt a relaxed approach, to take frequent breaks, and to work at a leisurely pace. This relaxed approach, however, impairs the construction company's ability to gain a competitive advantage because it raises costs and increases the time needed to complete a new home. Managers can motivate members of groups and teams to achieve organizational goals by making sure the members themselves benefit when the group or team performs highly. Managers often rely on some combination of individual and group-based incentives to motivate members of groups and teams to work toward the achievement of organizational goals. When individual performance within a group can be assessed, pay is often determined by individual performance or by both individual and group performance. When individual performance within a group cannot be accurately assessed, group performance should be the key determinant of pay levels. Many companies that use self-managed work teams base team members' pay in part on team performance. A major challenge for managers is to develop a fair pay system that will lead to both high individual motivation and high group or team performance. Other benefits managers can make available to high-performance group members, in addition to monetary rewards, include extra resources such as equipment or computer software, awards, and other forms of recognition, and choice of future work assignments. For example, members of self-managed work teams that develop new software at companies such as Microsoft often value working on interesting and important projects. Members of teams that have performed a high level are rewarded by being assigned to interesting and important new projects. At IDEO, managers motivate team members by making them feel important. As Tom Kelly, IDEO's general manager, puts it, when people feel special, they'll perform beyond your wildest dreams. To make IDEO team members feel special, IDEO managers plan unique and fun year-end parties, give teams opportunity to take time off if they feel they need or want to, encourage teams to take field trips, and see pranks as a way to incorporate fun into the workplace. Valero Energy motivates groups and teams to achieve organizational goals by valuing its employees, looking out for their well-being, and standing by them in crisis situations. For example, employees with medical emergencies can use Valero's corporate jet if they need to, and Valero covers the complete cost of employees' health insurance premiums. In turn, group members put forth high levels of effort to help Valero achieve its goals. As former Valero CEO and Chairman Bill Grinchy put it, "The more you do for your employees, the more they'll do for shareholders and the more they will do in the community." When Hurricane Katrina hit the Louisiana coastline in 2005, the way Valero stood by employees in its St. Charles oil refinery near New Orleans, and the way employees stood by each other and the company brought plant manager Jonathan Stewart to tears as he was briefing Grinchy and other top managers a few days after the hurricane hit. Stewart led a 50-person crew that rode out the hurricane in a shut-down refinery. The day before the storm hit, a supervisor used its personal credit card to buy supplies and stayed up all night preparing meals for the crew. Crew members worked round the clock, putting up new power poles, repairing power lines, and replacing motors. The refinery was up and running within 8 days, while a shell refinery close by was still shut down, and the crew had located all of the plant's 570 employees. Valero's headquarters had supplies delivered to employees whose homes were damaged. Trucks brought in food, water, generators, chainsaws, refrigerators, shovels, and Nextel phones, which were the only cell phone system that was still working. 60 mobile homes were brought in for employees whose houses were unavailable. Employees and law enforcement personnel were given free fuel, and employees were given up to $10,000 in aid from Valero's Safe Fund. Valero continued issuing paychecks to its employees while others affected refineries did not. We have been focusing on the steps managers can take to encourage high levels of performance in groups. Managers, however, need to be aware of an important downside to group and teamwork, the potential for social loafing, which reduces group performance. Social loafing is the tendency of individuals to put forth less effort when they work in groups than when they work alone. Have you ever worked in a group project in which one or two group members never seem to be pulling their weight? Have you ever worked in a student club or committee in which some members always seem to be missing meetings or never volunteer for activities? Have you ever had a job in which one or two of your coworkers seemed to be slacking off because they knew you or other members of your work group would make up for the lower levels of effort? If so, you have witnessed social loafing in action. Social loafing can occur in all kinds of groups and teams and in all kinds of organizations. It can result in lower group performance and may even prevent a group from attaining its goals. Fortunately, managers can take steps to reduce social loafing and sometimes completely eliminate it. We will look at all three. Make individual contributions to a group indefinable. Some people may engage in social loafing when they work in groups because they think they can hide in the crowd. No one will notice if they put forth less effort, and they should. Other people may think that if they put forth high levels of effort and make substantial contributions to the group, their contributions will not be noticed and they will receive no rewards for their work. So why bother? One way the managers can effectively eliminate social loafing is by making individual contributions to a group indefinable, so group members perceive that lower and high levels of effort will be noticed and individual contributions evaluated. Managers can accomplish this by assigning specific tasks to group members and holding them accountable for their completion. Take the case of a group of 8 employees responsible for reshelving returned books in a large public library in New York. The head librarian was concerned that there were always a backlog of 7 or 8 carts of books to be reshelved, even though the employees never seemed to be particularly busy, and some even found time to sit down and read newspapers and magazines. The librarian decided to try to eliminate the apparent social loafing by assigning each employee sole responsibility for reshelving a particular section of the library. Because the library's front desk employees sorted the books by section on the carts as they were returned, holding the shelvers responsible for particular sections was easily accomplished. Once the shelvers knew the librarian could identify their effort, or lack thereof, there were rarely any backlogs of books to be reshelved. Sometimes the members of a group can cooperate to eliminate social loafing by making individual contributions indefinitely. For example, in a small security company, members of self-managed work team who assemble control boxes for home alarm systems start each day by deciding who will perform which tasks that day and how much work each member and the group as a whole should strive to accomplish. Each team member knows that at the end of the day, the other team members will know exactly how much he or she has accomplished. With this system in place, social loafing never occurs in a team. Remember, however, that in some teams, individual contributions cannot be made indefinable. Emphasize the valuable contributions of individual members. Another reason why social loafing may occur is that people sometimes think their efforts are unnecessary or unimportant when they work in a group. They feel the group will accomplish the goals and perform it at an acceptable level whether or not they personally perform at a high level. To counteract this belief, when managers form groups, they should assign individuals to a group on the basis of the valuable contributions that each person can make to the group as a whole. Clearly communicating to group members why each person's contributions are valuable to the group is an effective means by which managers and group members themselves can reduce or eliminate social loafing. This is most clearly illustrated in cross-functional teams, where each member's valuable contribution to the team derives from a personal area of expertise. By emphasizing why each member's skills are important, managers can reduce social loafing in such teams. Keep group size at an appropriate level. Group size is related to the cause of social loafing we just described. As size increases, identifying individual contributions becomes increasingly difficult, and members are increasingly likely to think their individual contributions are not important. To overcome this, managers should form groups with no more members than are needed to accomplish group goals and perform at a high level.